Please welcome to Martinez with Eddie, your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork the juiciest gossip from your favorite reality TV shows. And I know I'm wearing sunglasses inside. It's not like I'm trying to be cool or anything like that. It's not like a new trend. I have a major sty on my eye. It just happened like yesterday, and I woke up this morning and it was bothering me. So, because as I'm recording right now, I mean, I'm live on YouTube. I all I see is my face, and I don't want to get distracted by looking at my huge sty on my eye. So I'm wearing sunglasses. I'm also in the middle of moving to a new place, so it's been a lot of work, a lot of packing. My schedule has been all over the place. So that's why I couldn't be on Friday as I usually do. But I'm trying my best to stay on schedule, to bring you the tea, to even with a horrible sty on my eye. I don't want to show it to you guys. I do not. I refuse to. But that's why I'm wearing sunglasses. I don't want to sound like I care. But the problem is like the only thing that I see on my screen right now is my face. So I don't want to get distracted. Yeah, like I was saying, we are selling our property in upstate. We are moving back down to our apartment in Jersey. It's a lot of stuff going on. But, Bravo is my happy place. And that's why I'm going to be uh, doing my podcast regardless and trying to bring you all the tea of the Housewives. Especially this weekend, we had um, Atlanta's reunion and a new episode of New York. I'm gonna start with New York just because I want to get more into it with the Atlanta reunion because I'm actually surprised of how good it is compared to how the season was, because as we all know the season was lackluster, quite bad season for Atlanta. But the reunion, we will get into it. Let's start with New York because New York is it's becoming one of my favorite franchises at the moment. I believe that the whole entire cast it's necessary and fun, and also each and one of them brings some kind of like ingredient to the mix, so it's working. We see the return of Uba. For those who don't know or haven't paid attention, Uba was not present in the past like two episodes much because she got COVID and she was sick for 3 weeks. So she was not filming during that time, but finally she's back just in time for their cast trip. Yes, they had the first cast trip and it's to Anguilla. So she meets Sai at a um, boutique. They are shopping for clothing for this trip, but it seems like one of the conversations that they're having it's how Sai feels about Jenna giving gift to them that are kind of like sponsor gift or like collaborations with a brand that Jenna has. So Sai doesn't seem to be happy about it because I mean technically Sai makes money out of like sponsorships and in sharing like products on her Instagram and all the stuff. So she feels like these gifts are not coming from a place of being just nice, but from a place of okay, these people have their own platform and I give them my product so they can post it and it's free advertisement. She also said like she was quite upset about Jenna showing the gift on a live, saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring this to the girls," and she was showing it. But I don't know. I'm having trouble with this topic because I kind of understand where Sai is coming from, but I don't see the big issue. Like, you don't have to post anything if you don't want to. Like, I don't think Jenna is telling you to post about the gift. You can simply accept the gift and take it home, right? You don't have to share everything on your Instagram if you feel like it's not going to be um, like profitable for you, right? That's my issue here. I think it speaks volumes more about size trust on Jenna than the actual gift and the whole sponsorship. Because like I said, like she's Jenna is not telling them to do it. Jenna is not saying like, "Hey, can you post this on Instagram so you can promote my business or anything?" She simply is giving them a gift, right? Um, and it's up to them if they want to share it. Obviously, if the brand is on the bottle or anything like that, people are gonna see what it is, right? I don't know. And they seems to like be dragging this issue because it goes all the way to the trip. I mean, and I love Sai. I think Sai speaks to me a lot because she is Latina. She's from New York City. She has that vibe, and I can kind of relate to that. But and I said it before. I do not care about her complaining, right? About the food because I'm also a hungry bitch. I like to eat. I like my food, and I'm going to be judgy if you are inviting me to your house and the only thing that you offer is crackers and that's it. Like if you telling me you're inviting me to eat at your place, I'm expecting at least something, right? I don't know, a dinner, a sandwich at least. I don't know. Uh, and this remind me uh, an advice that my mom told me when I was a kid. She said, if you are going to somebody's house, if they invite you for food, make sure that you eat something before going, something small, so it doesn't um, like spoil your appetite. But at least if you go to somebody's home and they don't offer you food that you like or food that is not enough, at least you have something in your stomach, right? So yeah, I can relate with Sai with this whole food situation. But the whole Jenna and the gift seems like a big stretch and a non-issue. Which, by the way, I'm liking that about this show because not everything has to be this complicated topic or this complicated beef. It can be simply like I said it before, a cheese platter or a caviar or wanting to go to Nabu after a wedding. And right now we see her complaining about the gift. So it seems like Sai knows how to stir a pot. She knows how to like create drama out of thin air, and that is actually a good quality to have in a franchise like this that is brand new. Like we didn't know what kind of like issue they were gonna have, and sometimes it might sound stupid, like oh they're fighting over a restaurant reservation, but that is quite relatable. I mean, sometimes you don't want to go to a restaurant that your friend wants to go, and you make an excuse and you don't go. I mean, it's so simple and vain and stupid that that's what is making this show entertaining. On the other hand, we also see like real personal topics. In this episode, it was heavily focused on Jenna's genetic, uh, issue with her skin and her teeth, and she was talking to her brother as she's showing him how she's helping, the Rockefeller Center area with like, revamping retail and the experience of retail in New York City in that area. Which, by the way, I think that's freaking iconic. That's one thing about Jenna. Jenna, it's an icon. Like for those who have been involved in the fashion industry, we know that name. We know who she is. We know where she's coming from. We know Her connections are huge. So yeah, she is a well-connected, established, successful icon in the fashion industry. So when she was announced as a housewife for New York City, I was like shocked and excited. And so far, she's been quite surprisingly amazing for the show because she seems so natural. Like she's not trying to put on a show. She says stuff that like make you like scratch your head sometimes, but at the same time make you go like, yeah, that's freaking hysterical. But also she's able to open up about her personal struggles and seeing her talking to her brother about the multiple surgery that she has gone through to like fix her smile and her skin issues and how it's affecting her in her daily activities. That to me is important because I mean, many people out there go through this in silence, and they don't feel seen, they don't feel represented, they don't feel like they can connect with anyone on TV because everything on TV sometimes seems too perfect. And we know that that's just how Hollywood and the media and the entertainment business is. They try to portray this like perfect image that everything is fine and everything is like unattainable, and people have like this weird, outrageous like beauty standards. So for me to see Jenna sharing picture of her without like teeth or like all the screws showing in her gum and all the stuff, I was like, first I was shocked because I was not expecting that to be shown on the show, but at the same time I was like, you know what? There's people out there that are going through this and are going to say, you know what? Thank you, because now I feel like somebody's like sharing their journey, and I don't feel alone, right? Uh, then she talks to Aaron about it, right? Erin brought some soup for her after the surgery. She had a surgery, right? And she was home, and Erin brought her some soup, and that was really nice. And then she was talking to Jenna about the trip to Anguilla, and Jenna said, like, I wanna go earlier because I want to tan, so the scars in my skin are not so obvious, and I can be with you guys. And also, I don't want to fly coach. And Aaron took that sentence and twisted like a pretzel. I mean, yes, I hate coach. I have severe flying anxiety. Like as soon as I get on a plane and they close that door, I feel trapped and claustrophobic. So I need to be in areas when there's not that many people around me. So obviously, I mean, if you fly like Delta, perhaps they have like Delta Plus and first class. I usually go for Delta Plus because it's just not an advertisement in any form or shape. Delta's not paying me for anything. I'm just saying like I usually fly Delta, right? So uh, minimum I have to get Delta Plus because I don't feel as like claustrophobic. Because if you go to like like economy, it's like a cluster of people, and I feel trapped. So I'm like, okay, I mean, I get it. I mean, she wants to fly first class, and I mean, she can afford it. It shouldn't be an issue, right? I mean, she was even embarrassed to share that information with Erin, but she shared because she's her girl, right? No. Aaron went ahead and told everybody else that the only reason why Jenna wasn't flying with them to Anguilla was because she didn't want to fly coach, ignoring the fact that Jenna shared with her about her genetic, issue, right, with her skin. So I'm like, Aaron, come on, like you were just so nice to Jenna by bringing her soup, but then you go ahead and quickly throw her under the bus. So everybody else is mad at her. it was giving jealousy though. I posted on my Twitter account. I said like these girls are going after Jenna because Jenna gave her some gift and because she's flying first class. Well, maybe, just maybe, fly first class too. Or not, just don't complain about it. Because if she can afford to go, I mean, it shouldn't be an issue for anybody else. Which, by the way, it's so typical housewife. It's so typical housewife. On this trip, there were two moments that remind me like quintessential housewife moments on a cast trip. One, this whole nonsense about flying first class versus flying coach. And then at the resort where they were staying, um, who was getting the best room? We all know that there is no housewife trip where the ladies are fighting for that best room. And obviously, they left Jenna with the worst one because she wasn't there to claim anything, so she got the worst room. She's called the Charming, and I laughed so hard because I clocked that shade immediately. Because that is something that I will say when I know that I'm trying to be shady. You know, all the like, oh, that's cute, or that's so charming. Charming means ugly. I mean, for those people out there, if somebody goes to your house and say, "Oh, that's so charming," that is not a compliment. They're shading your place. Keep an eye on those subtle freaking comments because you will get them. Um, yeah, I love this show. I mean, when Jenna arrived to the, where they're staying, right? They were having a conversation about her, and Sai went ahead and asked her about the flying coach situation. And at least I'm happy that she said the one that told them was Aaron, because I hope they keep it 100 on this show. And so far it's been that way. Like Sai did not try to hide who told them about Jenna flying first class 2 days early and the reason behind it. But I mean, to be honest, I love the dynamics on this show. Um, Talking about crazy trips, how is the fact that Pavitt, um, Jessel's husband, wants to go to Vietnam just for a sandwich? Just for a sandwich. He's literally flying like what he said, like 30 hours or something to Vietnam because he wants to eat some sandwich. That is freaking crazy. I mean, talk about trying. I'm like, dude, you can. I'm pretty sure you can have one of those sandwiches in New York City. There is every type of food in within New York City. Instead of flying 30 hours or something, just take the train to wherever you want to go and eat it. And just pretend you're going to Vietnam. I think it's hysterical because Jessel called him a dodo head. Yeah, I like the. I mean, a lot of people online are criticizing Jessel's relationship, but I like the dynamic. It's not like they being mean to each other. They just know how to like poke fun of each other and feed from that energy and keep it like fun. I do believe that they are a strong couple that most people will not understand the dynamic. You know, I see a lot of people saying like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna get into a divorce. They're not gonna last." Blah blah blah. I do believe that they have a very interesting dynamic that works for them and it's not for everybody, and not everyone will understand it, right? On this episode, 100% was Jenna's episodes. I mean, hands down. Hands down. I mean, Jenna was the one who everyone talked about pretty much the whole entire episode. She was the one who flew in first class. She was the one who was standing by the beach, taking selfies in Anguilla until the girls arrived, and then the girls continued to talk to Jenna about Jenna and questioning her and her intentions. So 100% the start of this episode and this trip so far is Jenna Lyons. Um, let's talk about Atlanta, because Atlanta had a horrible season but a very interesting first part reunion. There were a lot of topics and a lot of props. It seems like uh, they were ready with like different shades that needed props. We had a blank subpoena, a blank subpoena from Kenya to Marlo. We have Shire. She brought the bag from Shire to Drew. She also brought the she newspapers. Drew brought a, well, she meant to have a peach, but she brought a plum and she tossed it to Corny. And yeah, it's like everybody brought something and they pulled it on the first episode. The first topic that I want to talk about is that fight between Shire and Candy. Like, I don't know where Shire thinks that she can talk about Candy's businesses, because last time that I checked, Candy is certified producer. She's a singer. She's a restaurateur. If you go on her page, in her restaurant pages, those restaurants are always packed. They're always busy. There's lines and lines outside waiting to get in. And I have to say that I don't know one person who have bought She by Shire products. So the fact that Shire was coming for Candy's business is so hard, make me question Shire a lot. I'm like, is she putting on a show because she wants to keep that peach and she knows that the season was not so great, so she needed to come with something to like create some drama? Or she was just like that delusional that she thinks that she is a better businesswoman than Candy? Because let's be honest, Candy has a decade long like restaurant business, right? She has what, like almost 3 decades now, like 2 decades plus as a musician, producer. I mean, Grammy winner. She has produced Broadway shows. She has a movie on Peacock. I mean, she is busy. She's booked and busy. Even Andy made a comment at the beginning of the episode of the reunion. Like, we made sure to call, to your management to make sure that we're here today because you're so booked and busy. So it's true. You know, I do believe there is a sense of uh kind of jealousy. Oh, hi Mia Carla, how are you? Yes, I want to show your message. Let me see what you said. That Shire is jealous of the amount of success that Candy has. She has an empire. She has a touring musical. She's writing music, singing, soloist, acting, her store, her restaurant, etc., etc. True. She is booked and busy. I don't know. Besides She by Shire, that I'm still this is maybe like the 100th time that I ask on my podcast for people to send me a message if you bought She by Shire. I want to know, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to knock Shire down. I'm legit curious to know if anyone out there has a She by Shire that they purchased themselves. And I'm not just talking about the Housewives, because some of them got it for free, some of them bought it, and they were even questioning if they got the products that they purchased while they were on their trip in Portugal. So yeah, the whole thing is a mess. The whole thing is a mess. And also, Shrek was like coming for Candy's look a little bit, and I'm like, Candy, it's a beautiful. She has a body, and her butt is like they call it candy yams for a reason. She is a beautiful woman. So I didn't get the shade that Shrek was trying to throw at Candy when it came to her looks. I was confused. I do know that Shrek is working overtime in this reunion and probably trying to save her ass from being X'd out. Because I mean there was nothing. This season was absolutely nothing, and Andy asked her about Bob's daughter, and once again there was a random answer, and I do feel like when Shire is trying to like escape a question that she doesn't want to answer, or she feels like she's cornered with the question, what she does is like go after Candy. Once again, I do not get why she felt the need to print out some like um bad reviews, about Candy's business. At least she has a business that people can review on. I mean, think about it. Candy has been doing business for so long that people can comment on those businesses. People can leave Yelp reviews. Who has any review on Shiba Shire is my question. So yeah, I I will, like Candy said, I wish she took the time and the effort instead of printing out Candy's business reviews. She should be printing out fashions for her website or for her next collection or whatever she's trying to do. Because honestly, I don't get it. Um, I'm gonna read this from Mia Carla, New York. What is sad is Shure is a beautiful woman, but she has too much pride. She needs to humble herself when things aren't right. Yeah, it's true. Mia, I 100% agree because, like I said before, I mean, when she's been questioned, she tends to like snap. Like trying to start drama with somebody else. She tries to like avoid any answer or any accountability whenever she's been asked or anything. So she needs to humble herself too. Like I understand that she is an OG. I understand that she has a long history on the show, but at the same time, her main story for the past two seasons was like the revamping of Shiba Shire and still nothing. So I just want to remind people who just join us that I'm not wearing sunglasses because I think it's cool to wear sunglasses inside. I just have a really bad sty on my eye. And because I'm literally looking at myself this whole entire time while I'm recording this podcast, I don't want to get distracted with it. So I just want to make sure of that. I'm just trying to make sure that people know that this is not like a cool new trend. This doesn't mean that I'm gonna be doing my podcast on sunglasses from now on, or maybe I will. Maybe I will. Who knows? um, Another topic of conversation was Kenya versus Marlo when it comes down to that huge blowout that they had in Birmingham, Alabama. Um, I know that the whole subpoena was a little floppy. It was a little sloppy because it was blank. But based on Kenya's update on her Twitter account, Marlo was in fact served to be, subpoenaed to the court. And I'm happy that she did that. I'm happy because her actions, Marlo's actions, were the reason why Mark is now trying to fight custody, right? She is trying to fight custody for Brooklyn, and I don't think that is fair. I don't think uh, the actions of Marlo should affect Kenya's life that much. And I don't want to hear people saying that because Kenya took Brooklyn to her trip, that is Kenya's fault. Well, guess what? At that point, when she went to her room, she was not filming anymore. She was not mic'd. She wasn't working. She took her daughter because she wanted to show her daughter her performance, that she was doing. So she has all the right to do that. I don't understand how it's Kenya's fault that Marlo was acting like an uncivilized person and kicking her door. And she asked her, like, stop doing it because Brooklyn is inside and she's crying. So obviously, Marlo was just being, her evil self. I honestly find that kicking the door and yelling and stuff in a hotel quite like sad, because it's not just between the two of them. The moment that Kenya said, Brooklyn is asleep, Brooklyn is crying, please stop doing that. Like, what the hell are you doing? Marlo needed to take her ass down to the freaking receptionist or whatever and stay down in the lobby. You know, she wanted a moment. She wanted to get Kenya riled up. She didn't care that Brooklyn was in that room. And because of her actions, Mark, being, the narcissist person that he is, it put Kenya in a position that now she has to fight for her daughter. Right? So, like, it's a consequence that goes beyond the show. That this brings more issues to Kenya that were not related to the show. You know? And she was aware what she was doing. She was aware that Brooklyn was there. And anyone who thinks otherwise either didn't pay attention or just don't want to listen. Because Kenya, the first thing that she said as soon as she opened that door was, Brooklyn is crying, she's sleeping. And Marlo kept yelling and yelling, like, come out or something, like summer is coming or winter is coming. Some kind of season is coming. I don't know what season, but I don't know if it was summer or winter, but something like that she was saying. So she knew what she was doing. She knew that that could affect Kenya in some way, and it did. And she tried to say that she apologized, but it seems like that never happened. Or it was very, nonchalant, or like without accountability. And I'm happy that that Kenya actually served her with that. I want to share that with Aaron. Aaron said, like, Marlo, I don't think she understands what Kenya's going through. It breaks my heart. I think it's true. Um, I I want to also share this one right here. Mia said, Marlo is from a broken family with a mama who chose men over her and her sister. She knows what family is supposed to be. She doesn't care. She always in the world, her mode. She is always in the world, her mode. Okay, I mean, I agree. I think it has to be maybe just trauma or consequences from her upbringing, but she's an adult, you know, and it's upsetting to see that happening, especially with Kenya and her daughter. I mean, that goes beyond the show. That is something we have to remember. Some, some housewives have fights, have issues that live and die in the show. A kid being involved is a different story. And no, this has this is not Kenya's fault for bringing her daughter to the trip, because many housewives has done that. Many housewives want to have their kids around, and this is not like a trip to like out of the country or a trip that was planned by somebody else. This particular trip was planned by Kenya because she was supposed to perform at the football game, and she wanted her daughter to see her perform. It's just really sad to see that when she was asking the other ladies to stop, they didn't, especially Marlo, who in fact kicked the door. And then when she said, come out or whatever, and Kenya said, can you please stop because Brooklyn is sleeping, she kept yelling and yelling. And that little scene was used by Mark in court. How crazy and narcissist this guy is, that literally took a little clip from a TV show to use it against Kenya in trying to get full custody of Brooklyn. That's freaking insane. Another issue that I have was Drew versus Marlo. I know I might sound like a Marlo hater, but there, there, she has many qualities that I don't like in a person. I mean, she thinks she's a fashion, girl. I let her have that. I mean, she seems to be involved in fashion. Great. Do I like her style? Not always. But she feels like she can talk about people's styles and people's fashion, and I mean that's her lane. But she does have a lot of quality that I do not like. And on this first part reunion, there was a conversation between her and Drew regarding Drew's, um, that fitness, thing that she has. And she was asked about, Marla was asked about her comment, the body shaming comment that she made about Drew. And for her to deflect the conversation, she went from body shaming to homophobic. She started to say, I screenshot it, and I'm gonna read it verbatim because this right here, it's one of the stuff that really like pissed me off. Marlo went and she started to talk to Drew about making out with Latoya, allegedly. She said she was being very sarcastic, very, trying to shame Drew, saying like, you like to tongue kiss girls and then denial. You like to tongue kiss girls and ashamed to admit it. Come out, come out. For those who don't understand how this is homophobic, this is weaponizing sexuality. This is trying to make somebody feel ashamed. This is trying to feel somebody like being on a same sex relationship is bad, especially since Drew has said multiple times that she's not interested on people of the same sex. So being homophobic is not just only saying, the F word slur, or, going around and punching LGBTQIA people or burning the gay flag. No, that's not just, that is being homophobic, but that's like many ways. And one way to express homophobia is by making somebody feel like they need to come out, to use sexuality as a weapon of shame. Bullying somebody into feel like they need to push them out of the closet. And even Andy, if you notice, Andy was very uncomfortable by the way the that Marlo was speaking, because it wasn't only what she was saying, it was the way that she was saying it. She had that voice of like, I'm making fun of you. I'm making you feel like because you might have kissed a girl, you're less than me kind of voice. If you pay attention, the whole scene was a disgrace. I was watching, I was like, I can't believe that anyone will not see how problematic this is. And let's not forget that Marlo herself had said the F word, the slur, the homophobic slur on TV. So she has a history. So when she was talking to Drew in that way, I was like, oh my gosh. She went full homophobic to try to deflect from taking accountability about body shaming Drew, which, by the way, for somebody who's been body shaming other people, she's very, very candid about talking about taking Ozempic for um, for weight loss. So I don't understand where she feels like she can shame other people in different bodies, because obviously she has her own issues with her own. That was one. But then Drew had another moment with a different cast member. This time was with Corny, which also had the same kind of like type of very questionable tone in her voice in that last scene of the season finale. You know, when when she didn't realize that she was being filmed, and she thought that she was done with her confessional, and she kept saying, "Oh, Drew wanted him to adopt, the kids so she can go have her gay lover relationship." I mean, so Corny was, which by the way, she is so bad at reunions. She was like horrible. Like, watching her behavior and the way that she was talking, it was extremely rehearsed. That smile, that it didn't go away the whole entire time. It felt like a fan was sitting on the couch instead of a cast member. It felt almost like Miss Universe, very rehearsed. Uh, I don't know. It was really strange. I was kind of confused. But then Andy asked Drew about, Rolf, and Courtney's comment came to the into the conversation, and Drew went off on Courtney, and she deserved every single ounce of Drew's energy, because Drew is right. She was like, she can talk about anything she wants, but the moment she brought her son into the conversation, Courtney went way too far. That comment at the end that Ralph, um, she wanted Ralph to adopt the kid so he could pay the bills and she could be out there with her gay lover. That was beyond disgusting. And she tried to deny it at the reunion, and Andy was like, "No, no, 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 no! You said it. You did talk about Drew's son." Because Drew said like, you talk about my son, and her unverifiable fake cousin replied, "I didn't," and Andy was quick to say, "Yes, you did. Yes, you did." I'm happy that at least on this topic he spoke out, because I wanted him to speak out when Marlo was being slightly homophobic, and I wish he took that moment to explain to her how her behavior is not okay. He just kind of like brushed it under the rug and he kept going. but this time he inserted himself saying like, no, Courtney, you're not gonna deny this. You did say something about Drew's son on your confessional. In that scene by itself kind of like showed me why Drew got first seat next to Andy. It makes sense. Uh, she gave a lot, and I'm impressed with this reunion. Like, I didn't know that we were going to have so many good moments and moments to talk about, because the season was nothing. Um, I believe that it's only two-part reunion. Um, yeah, but if you think about it, if it's really two-part reunions, I think it's good. I think it's great, because most of the time that we have like a three-part reunion or a four-part reunion, like we have with Beverly Hills, uh, generally one of those episodes is just like a filler with like stupid dumbass questions. So I prefer, if it's only two-part reunions, to be packed with drama. This first episode was excellent. Excellent. And I hope the next one is also great. Then on next week, Ralph is invited to the reunion. Once again, I don't understand why Bravo keeps giving this man a platform, because we all know that he's been nothing but toxic this whole entire time. Not just now that they got divorced. We've been watching this man being toxic, lying and cheating. And now he's trying to like manipulate and gaslight the situation into making Drew the bad person. But no, I mean, if we have been watching the show, you know that he is not the victim and not a person that we can trust when it comes down to the truth. So I do not get why Bravo is giving him a platform. The fact that he was invited for an confessional after the divorce, I was like, I don't need to hear his side of the story. I don't care. I don't know why Bravo's doing this. Always giving this dumbass man a platform. Like a couple of days ago, I think it was like 2 days ago, um, Southern Charm X star, and I say star with quote unquote, like star, I'm just being sarcastic. Uh, Thomas Ravenel went on a Twitter um, rampage against Leva, which, by the way, I adore her. And I saw the tweet as soon as he posted. I was scrolling and I saw the tweet, and he said like, I just watched the new update of Southern Charm, and once again, the most boring character is Leva. But that didn't stop right there. If you went into the comments section, it gets darker and darker. He started to comment about her race, her ethnicity, her husband's, and how she's using, race because producers are pushing her to talk about it. And I'm like, I read it and I was like, and I decided to comment. Like, I quote his tweet, right? Luckily, I screenshotted it because I knew that he was either gonna block me or he was gonna delete it. But I screenshot his tweet, right? And I screenshot mine, and I said, "Sir, you are a non-racist who took advantage of a young woman using your power. You're creepy and has been attached to several scandals. You, sir, isn't entertaining. You are toxic. You are pressed that you were fired, so your entire existence is about a show you haven't been on in years. Take several seats." That was my reply to the comment I quoted and I posted on my Twitter. I deleted it because I got like a little ding ding from from like, oh, you use this type of language or whatever. So I deleted it, but I screenshot it and I reposted it as a screenshot, so it didn't cause any problems. The funny part is, it's like 5 seconds after I posted this, he blocked me. And I'm happy that he did, because that means that he read what I said. And that to me is important, because this guy is toxic. Once again, Bravo giving dumbass men like Thomas Ravenel a platform. And it made it to the news, like page 6 run story. And Real Housewife of Miami, Gertie, she commented on the page 6 post on Instagram saying like, whatever, Leva is successful. It's true. I think it's hysterical how Thomas Ravenel says that Leva is boring, and she has 2 shows. She's in Southern Charm, Southern Hospitality is a success. Her businesses are successful. Her family is beautiful. She's nothing but kind, which is the opposite of what Ravenel is. He's been involved in sexual harassment. He groomed really young ladies to be with him. People keep saying that Catherine was a gold digger, but let's not forget that Catherine was 21 when she got with Thomas Ravenel, who was 50 on the first season. So think about this. A really, really young girl, 21 years old, gets with a 50-year-old man. And the 50-year-old man seduced this girl with his money and his power, and show her like shiny things. That, my friends, is called grooming, because the older man has more power and more understanding of what is happening. A 21-year-old girl hasn't even finished developing her brain, because as we all know, based on genetics and biological research, a human brain develops like fully when you are 25 years old. So yes, I mean, I was so upset, because this is what happened when you give a dirty ass man a platform. He goes after women. He went after Leva for no reason. He's so freaking weak and a chicken shit that he deleted that tweet that he did. And luckily I screenshot it and it made it to the news, because it shows how weak this man is, hiding in his little hiding in someone in charge and tweeting about a woman who probably they don't even interact, So I mean, that was intense and embarrassing for a 60-year-old man to going after a businesswoman. And as we all know, he still goes after really young ladies. That is a fact. Okay, besties, as you guys know, we have Salt Lake City tomorrow. So on Thursday night, I have a guest, and we will be talking about Salt Lake City and also Orange County. Next week, Southern Charms come back to our TV, so obviously I'll be watching, I'll be tweeting, and I'll be recapping here my podcast. I want to remind you guys, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I'm in the process of moving to my new place. We are selling our upstate property, and I'm so excited that we are going to be permanently back in the city. So I'm going to try to stick to my schedule of podcasts, but if you see that I'm missing like a day or two, it's because, I'm in this madness of packing and whatever. But on Thursday night, we'll be talking about Salt Lake City and Orange County. This week, Orange County's reunion is filmed. So I'm gonna keep my eyes open to every tea and everything I can get from that reunion and bring it to you guys here exclusively on Martini with Eddie. I'm planning to have a special episode about New Jersey, about the filming of New Jersey so far, with one of my really good friends and favorite accounts. And I don't want to tell you who that is because their account is one of the like most I would say controversial accounts when it comes to New Jersey, but they are one of my favorites and they are so sweet. So we're gonna have a special episode about New Jersey. So there's a lot of content coming. There's a lot of new Bravo coming. So stay tuned. And as I always say, make sure to subscribe to my podcast. Leave a rate. I hope you enjoy my podcast enough to leave me a 5-star rate on my podcast, because the best way for you guys to help me as a podcaster is to simply leave a rate, because that helped me to kind of like survive in this sea of content creators. Also, if you want extra tea in your daily takes of Bravo, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Martini with Eddie. Also, obviously on YouTube, if you want to watch the podcast on your video, or if you want to join the conversation like Mia Carla, thank you for being here. Like Erin was here too. You can join live on the YouTube channel, live chat, and I will read your comments here on the podcast. Also, if you want to merch, you can go to my website, martinewitheddy.com. Besties, it's been a great night. Hopefully my sty in my eye will be gone by Thursday, because I don't want to wear sunglasses again. But hey, I kind of like it too. Kind of make me feel more like mysterious. But no, I'm not gonna wear glasses in every episode. No, this is just because I have a sty. So hopefully it's gone by Thursday. Okay, besties, I will see you guys on Thursday. We'll be talking about Salt Lake City and Orange County. Just say with me, you know what is coming. Say with me. Bye, besties.